o crime for that matter na directed against the judiciary. Kasi if you make some remarks in front of the judiciary that could undermine the trust and confidence of the people to the judiciary, you will be cited for direct contempt. Pero if you are doing it outside of the court, that is indirect contempt. Ang impact dyan as if don't believe in the Supreme Court, and that should not be tolerated. If ordinary people can be reprimanded, can be sanctioned by the Supreme Court, by the courts, for that matter, RTC, Court of Appeals, or first level courts, how much more for the high official of the country making statements that could undermine the integrity of the judiciary headed by the Supreme Court. That is the essence of indirect contempt. Hindi natin pwede pangunahan ang Supreme Court kung paano yung sanction na kanilang ipalabas. Kasi ang sanction dyan, pwede imprisonment, extreme yan. That is the most extreme sanction. Merong warning, reprimand. Yan, depende yan kung ano yung kanilang ipalabas na decision. But at the end of the day, I think they will make a decision that would preserve their existence and their relevance, so to speak, as an institution.
Naglabas po ng desisyon, hindi desisyon, pinasasagot ng Supreme Court itong si Senate President Tito Soto patungkol nga doon sa naging itong possible na kasong indirect contempt matapos kumontra nga sa desisyon sa impeachment ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Ano ho ba itong indirect contempt para lang ma-educate lang po natin attorney ang ating mga kababayan at paano po ba ang magiging implikasyon po niyan kung sakali man na talagang tutuluyan?
Ang indirect contempt ay isang situation that is hindi naman crime o crime for that matter na directed against the judiciary. Kasi if you make some remarks in front of the judiciary that could undermine the trust and confidence of the people to the judiciary, you will be cited for direct contempt. Pero if you are doing it outside of the court, that is indirect contempt. Kasi what we trying to avoid is the erosion of trust and confidence of the people in our justice system. We prevent the possibility that the people will take the law into their own hands. The only thing that can preserve the rule of law in our country is to have a judiciary that enjoys the trust and confidence of the people. Now, if the statements are coming from very high official in the government like Senate President Tito Soto, who openly criticized the Supreme Court for voiding the articles of impeachment against PP Sara, that is really serious because people would be influenced by the person who is occupying the third highest position in the country. So that should not be just swept under the rug because it strikes the very core of the independence and the integrity, credibility of our justice system headed by the Supreme Court. So it's very improper for the Senate President to have done that to have said those statements na parang urging the people to doubt the wisdom and the decision of the Supreme Court. Ang impact dyan as if don't believe in the Supreme Court, and that should not be tolerated. If ordinary people can be reprimanded, can be sanctioned by the Supreme Court, by the courts, for that matter, RTC, Court of Appeals, or first level courts, how much more for the high official of the country making statements that would undermine the integrity of the judiciary headed by the Supreme Court. That is the essence of indirect contempt.
Opo. At kung maalala po natin, para rin sa kaalaman ng ating mga kababayan, ay hindi po nag-atubiling punahin ni Soto, mga kababayan, yung naging desisyon ng Korte Suprema na ibasura yung motion for reconsideration ng Kamara nga, kaugnay nga doon sa desisyong nagdeklara na unconstitutional yung articles of impeachment laban kay VP Sara. Kung matatandaan po ninyo, nung komendo po ng Senate President, sabi po niya, a sad day for constitutional law, o isang malungkot na araw para sa batas konstitusyonal at maging itong may judicial overreach daw at judicial legislation. Yan po yung kanyang naging akusasyon, which is naging basis po ng Korte Suprema, attorney, kung bakit siya pinasasagot. Hindi ho ba saklaw doon sa definisyon ng indirect contempt yung public criticism ng isang opisyal ng gobyerno laban sa Korte Suprema?
Saklaw yan. Saklaw. Everybody in our country is under the jurisdiction of the judiciary headed by the Supreme Court. Kasi everyone, especially, as I said, especially the high officials of the government should be the model to respect the decision of our court. Because if nobody would believe, as I said, the decision of our court, then the people would find other ways of resolving their grievances, and that would be the destruction of our judicial system, our rule of law. So we might resort to the rule of the might. Hindi naman pwede yan kasi magkagulo na tayo. So it behoves upon responsible persons to be the leader, to be the model of encouraging the people to respect the decision of our court, especially the Supreme Court.
Opo. Welcome development ho ba ito para sa mga petitioner, attorney, na umaksyon itong Supreme Court laban sa pahayag ng Senate President? Although hindi pa ito desisyon, pero at least may part of due process ito na pinasasagot, pinakokomento nga itong Senate President.
Actually, Jade, the Supreme Court is defending itself. It is part of its self-preservation. Nagkataon lang na mayroong mga petitioners na who went to the Supreme Court. Actually, what they did is to protect the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has to protect itself, has to preserve itself by making it appear na nobody can just criticize its action, which tend to court disrespect, ridicule, degrade yung action ng Supreme Court. Kasi, as I said, it would result in people's losing of trust and confidence of our judicial system. So, hindi yan maganda sa bansa. Ang nangyari dito is the Supreme Court is protecting itself, preserving its existence.
Opo. Maaari ho bang depensahan ni Senate President Tito Soto ang kanyang sarili. Gagamitin po niya yung doktrina ng parang fair comment doon sa dito sa kasong ito, attorney.
Well, in a defense for that matter, he can avail of. Kasi ayaw ko naman pangunahan. I'm not his lawyer. Pero siguro, yan ang mga depensa diyan. Fair comment, freedom of expression. So, yan naman ang titingnan kung nag-overreach din siya. Baka another jurisprudence yan hanggang saan ba yung fair comment na gagawin ng isang high public official of the government uh, where people look up to. So, magandang opportunity ito how the Supreme Court balance these conflicting rights kasi as you said, he might invoke these defenses. Hindi naman pwede pangunahan yan kasi diskarte niya yan, pero it could be one of his defenses.
Kung sakali man na mapatunayang may itong contempt laban po sa kanya, ano ho yung possible na parusa, attorney? Gaano ba ito kabigat para sa isang incumbent Senate President?
Well, depende yan. Hindi natin pwede pangunahan ang Supreme Court kung paano yung sanction na kanilang ipalabas. Kasi ang sanction dyan, pwede imprisonment, extreme yan. That is the most extreme sanction. Merong warning, reprimand. Yan, depende yan kung ano yung kanilang ipalabas na decision. But at the end of the day, I think they will make a decision that would preserve their existence and their relevance, so to speak, as an institution.
Opo. Bago ko ipasa kay partner Admar, attorney, meron na ho bang nakulong before dahil sa isang opisyal lang na gobyerno dahil sa kanyang pagtutuligsa, pagkukwestiyon sa mga naging desisyon ng Supreme Court, attorney, o natanggal man sa pwesto? May mga ganun ho ba?
Ang naalala ko lang, ang daming mga abogado na disbarred to have done so. Pero may mga high public officials na yung penalty ay parang warning, reprimand. So, ganun na level. I think isang malaking kaso niya noon, yung panahon kay former prosecutor na naging Secretary of Justice yan, si Raul Gonzales, na he made some revelations that parang exposed corruption in the Supreme Court. Merong kaso diyan na he was, I think, reprimanded na siguro. Hindi ko na maalala yun. Basta merong ginawa ang Supreme Court na strongly worded decision in the matter of Raul Gonzales. I have to review it kasi part yan ng case law namin. So, in effect, the Supreme Court was making a statement na nobody can just make comments that would tend to degrade or diminish people's trust in our judicial system.
Attorney, may buntag.
Abogado, madaming na tanggal ng lisensya.
Opo, may buntag po, attorney, si Admar po ito. Meron pong 15 mga justices ang Korte Suprema at sinasabi doon sa desisyon nila, unanimous. Kumbaga, sa tingin nyo po, makatarungan ba na questionin ito or mas makatarungan kung halos pantay lang ang nagiging desisyon po, attorney?
Well, para sa atin na who cheered that decision, makatarungan yan. Masaya tayo. Pero para sa iba na hindi nagustuhan yun, so malungkot sila. But this should be circumspect in making public statements, especially coming from the Senate President, as I said, who occupies the third highest position of the country. So parang nangihikayat ka sa taong bayan na hindi paniwalaan yung desisyon ng Supreme Court. Yan ang sentro ng complaint na filed against him by some lawyers, and then the Supreme Court reacted because the Supreme Court has to defend and to protect itself.
Opo. Dito naman po tayo sa recent lang din na decision po ng Korte Suprema patungkol po doon sa Fort Worth na sinasabi po. Sa tingin nyo po, mas lalong nabigyan ng linaw ang Senado ukol dito kasi meron ding pagkakaiba po ng meron ding statement si si Senate President Tito Soto before tungkol dito. Hindi pa siya Senate President during that time kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng Fort Worth. At ngayon meron na pong itinakda ang Korte Suprema. Sa tingin nyo po, nabura na ang lahat ng mga question marks kung ano nga ba talaga ito at hindi na mako-question kung saan ba, ano ba ang magiging hakbang ng Senado ukol dito, Attorney?
Ang basa ko sa desisyon na yan, ang Fort Worth ay parang relative yan sa decision, collegial decision ng Senado. Kasi at that time, ang majority doon na ang majority headed by the then Senate President Chis Escudero interpreted na hindi kaagad-agad. So, and that decision was carried by the majority of the members of the Senate. That would become a decision of the Senate itself as an institution. Although may some senators headed by Senator Tito Soto argued otherwise, but they were outnumbered. Ngayon, sabi ng Supreme Court, decision yan. Kung ano yung how you are going to interpret Fort Worth. Kung bukas, then kung yan ang, if that is the will of the majority of the Senate, then that's it. Yan ang tingin ko kasi under the principle of separation of powers. Kaya ngayong mandamos, it was denied on the ground na decision na yan ng co-equal branch of government, which is the Senate. So, hindi nang himasok yung Senado, yung Supreme Court as to how the Senate at that time, majority of the senators headed by the then Senate President Escudero interpreted Fort Worth. So yun, yan ang decision dyan. Walang kuan dyan, Admar, walang parang hard and fast rule as to the meaning of Fort Worth.
Opo. Meron pong mga pag-question ngayon dito sa constitutionality naman, dito po sa naging panibagong impeachment laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Parang almost same ba?
I am one of the petitioners.
Opo. Almost same lang din dun sa mga nangyari. So halimbawa po, kasi magbobotohan na sa plenaryo po at sakaling umusad, if ever man, halimbawa, nakaumang na, nandyan na sa Senado or mag-uumpisa na sila, mag-convene, if ever na magdesisyon pa rin ang Korte Suprema, same pa rin yung gagawin nila, attorney, kagaya nung una na pwede na lang ipahinto talaga. Once na merong desisyon, pabor sa kampo ni Vice President Sara Duterte ang Supreme Court.
Masyado yung theoretical at saka speculative yung tanong mo, Admar. Ang masasabi ko lang diyan, I have to dissociate myself as one of the petitioners kasi masyadong bias. Gusto man, kung ako ang bias ko lang, ang subjectivity ko lang ang ipairal ko, of course, I want the impeachment process stopped because we believe that that is really unconstitutional. Nakita naman talaga natin na yung ginawa nila doon sa House Justice Committee ay hindi naman yun hearing lang to determine probable cause. It was like really as what we anticipated on a mini trial that is within the authority of the Senate. Pero as of now, wala pang decision ang Supreme Court. Ang sabi mo, in the event that the Supreme Court will make a ruling favorably, hopefully, we are praying for it. We hope that the Senate will respect the decision of the Supreme Court. Kasi yun man talaga ang patakaran natin. Basta mga legal questions, ang final arbiter, ang ating judiciary, which is headed by the Supreme Court, and everybody is urged and expected to respect whatever decision that our court render. Iyon lang masasabi ko.
Opo. Sakali naman po, attorney, na wala pang desisyon ng Korte Suprema, nandyan na sa Senado, kung musan man makakuha ng paborable, kumbaga, sapat na boto para umusad yung kaso. Pwede bang questionin ng kampo ni Vice President Sara Duterte sa impeachment court ang naging proseso doon pa lang sa paggawa nitong impeachment complaint laban sa kanya sa Senado po, attorney?
Admar, I am not part of the legal team. Ayokong pangunahan yung ano yung mga strategy nila. Pero theoretical, anything that can be utilized in order to protect the interest of our client, lawyers will have to resort to that within the legal parameters, within the confines of the procedure. Ang point ko, if that is a remedy, that remedy is, to me, well thought of, well studied, at ayokong magawa ng spekulasyon kasi strategy yan. And they are very competent legal team. And they know what they are doing in order to protect the interest of their client, who is the Vice President of the Philippines, who was voted by the Filipino people, unprecedented mandate of more than 32 million votes.
Opo. Opo, attorney. Dito naman tayo sa issue din ng perjury naman laban po doon kay self-confessed na bagman daw ni Vice President Sara na dinidinamin naman ni VP Sara Duterte. Ukol po dito sa perjury po, no? If ever po na makitaan na may ano po mangyayari po kay Ramil Madriaga na nakakulong na po or kahit sino man na meron pong kinakaharap na perjury po, attorney, automatiko ba mabubura din yung kanya mga testimonya lalo na i-record yan doon sa House po?
Kahit pa, kasi alam mo naman yung kaso, undergo yan ng process. Yung case na that is being filed by the Vice President through his lawyer against Madriaga, it will undergo a process. Whatever the outcome of that process, yung statement niya, if ever he will be presented again in the Senate, will be subjected to the test of credibility. Now, hindi naman we are not unmindful of the fact how incredible the testimony is, how unbelievable, how laughable his testimony is. So, I think kung credibility man pag-uusapan, zero na yan. I don't know how the Senate view it, pero siguro, just like us, they were watching the statements of Madriaga in the House Justice Committee kung to their estimation, bigyan ba yan ng credence or belief at the very least.
Opo, attorney, lipat lang tayo sa huling topic ko lang, no? Kaugnay lang po dito sa naging hakbang po ng AMLAC na kini-question din po ng kampo ng asawa po ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Ano po yung nakikita nyo po, no, dito lalo na sa batas tungkol sa AMLA, yung AMLA po na batas, na nakikita ninyong parang butas dito na para maiwasan po na magamit ito, ma-weaponize laban sa politika po. Kasi ito yung akusasyon ngayon ng kampo ni Attorney Manasseh sa Carpio. Nagtataka sila, nakakaupo lang ng bagong pinuno. After ng napakabilis, nakakuha agad ng mga dokumento. Sa tingin nyo po, kung may babaguhin or ano ba yung dapat na baguhin sa mismong batas po para hindi magaya nito kung mapapatunayan kasi pag-question pa lang ito. Sa tingin nyo po, Attorney?
Anmar, ang batas ay complete. Ang batas ay mayroong safeguards. Ang problema lang, they have weaponized the AMLAC at saka set aside nila yung mga safeguards doon. The intention is not to use this AMLAC as a political tool. Pero ginawa nila. But the people are not naive anymore. Tingnan mo yung how the bank transactions parang selectively presented na lumalabas na meron kang 6 to 7 billion. Hindi naman pinakita nila yung may portion doon, yung balance. Kaya nga, it's all about using this institution in order to demolish, in order to destroy the reputation of a certain person. At the end of the day, walang kwenta yun eh. Walang kwenta yun kasi hindi naman yun talaga ang tunay na nangyayari. Ang lahat ng madami ng explanations diyan. Imagine 19 years kung ano yung deposit mo, ano yung withdraw mo, ano namang deposit mo. Ina-add nila lahat yan. Siyempre, lulubo yan kasi deposit, withdraw. Deposit, withdraw. How many years? Yan ang ina-add, hindi pinalabas doon kung magkano yung balance. Kaya nga, kung kakasukan, kung actual case yan, walang kwenta yan. Pero what they did is to sell to the public an idea that the Vice President and her husband accumulate this much amount of money during this period. At saka, merong parang ang dating dyan ay unexplained wealth. Hindi nga nila sinabi kung where did the money come from. Yun lang, figure lang pinalabas nila. So selective. So ang tanong mo kung anong magawa, the law is complete in itself. Ang mali lang dyan ay nagpagamit yung yung official natin sa AMLAC for political purposes. That should not be the case. So it is a sad day of our banking system kasi ang mangyayari diyan wala nang magtitiwala sa ating banking system. The heart and soul of our banking system is trust. Now, kung yung confidentiality ay questionable, people would be discouraged from putting their money into the bank because at hindi mo alam baka kalkalin yan and then i-demonize ka. Kaya mo man ma-explain yan in a proper forum but in the bar of public opinion, nasisiraan ka na. You are already demonized as being corrupt. That is not fair.
Opo. Siguro, Attorney, yung huling mensahe para sa ating mga kababayan, lalo't may maraming itong mga kritiko po, ilang kritiko po ng pangalawang Pangulo ni Vice President Sara Duterte nagsasabing mai-impeach itong pangalawang Pangulo. Ano bang masasabi po ninyo, mensahe sa mga kababayan natin?
Well, yung impeachment sa House of Representatives, that requires 1/3. So 106. Now, judgment call yan ng mga congressmen. Kung ang kanilang desisyon ay reflective ba yan sa sentiments ng kanilang sinasakupan sa kanilang mga constituents. In every decision ng isang political actor, merong consequence yan. Now, I hope that the people will remember those who betrayed them, and then these people will punish these traitors of their trust and confidence by way of dumping them in the coming election. If only to uphold the principle of republicanism, that this government is for the people, by the people, and for the people. It's the people. If the people are really against this impeachment, and then this congressman will defy the wish of their constituents, then punishment should be meted out by the constituents by rejecting them in the 2028 elections.